What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the City Life Project YouTube channel for yet another picks and predictions video. UFC Fight Night Rozenstruik versus Gaziev preview live here this Thursday. If you're new to the channel, we do our live UFC picks and predictions video every single Thursday. We do fight companions every single weekend, and we drop videos throughout the week as well. So smash that like button and subscribe. Combat sports content, vlogs, and we got a little something for everyone. We are going to go over every single fight on this card, starting with the prelims all the way to the main event. Another lackluster UFC card, but that's okay because one championship's going to make it all worth it this weekend. Right, MMA gods? Anyways, we'll get to your guys' comments throughout the stream as well. We usually go through one to four fights before getting back to your comments, especially if it's a big crowd. If it's a small crowd, we'll note your guys' thoughts on these as well. UFC Fight Night, Rozenstruik, Gaziev. Let's get right into it. First fight on the card here. Lightheavyweight against Abdul-Kareem, Al-Selwady. Honestly, should be a fun fight to start off this card here. 15-3-0 for Al-Selwady going up against the Tajik Tank. I remember I commented on his nickname last time he fought in the UFC. Lightheavyweight, who has a 17-5-1 record. 33 years of age. Al-Selwady, 28. Al-Selwady, said 15-3 as a pro. Fights at a Fortis MMA, 8 KO, TKO, 2 submission, 5 decision. He's lost. His only 3 losses have been by KO, TKO. He's never been submitted, and he never lost a fight via decision. 1-0 in LFA, 1-0 off Contender Series. He won a grappling match in his last competitive combat sports affair. Before then, he beat George Hardwick. Now, that was a little while ago. That was a good, almost a year ago, but he has stayed active in at least grappling since then. Awesome win. Is George Hardwick one of the best UK prospects? And I know even myself and all of England were a little upset they did not make it to the UFC. Before then, was on a 4-fight win streak, beating some decent opponents in LFA and Fury. Rozenstruik, 17-5 as a pro, 3-2 in his last 5. He did lose his last fight. He's at a kill cliff, so both these guys are good gyms. 7 KO, TKO, 5 submission, 5 decision, 4-4-1 on the PFL, 1-1 in the UFC. He lost his last fight to Mateusz Rebecki, who is awesome, by the way. I'm very excited to see him fight next. And a good win against Esteban Ribovic as well, who's 11-0 going into that one. I have Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady winning this one. Both of them are good fighters. That's why I said, actually, this fight should be fun to start off the card. I think the Tajik Tank, like I said, has decent wins on his resume. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's anything special, but he's a solid UFC fighter. He is UFC caliber, in my opinion. Selwady's on an awesome win streak too, though. And I like how he stayed fresh after the Hardwick fight. Mind you, not necessarily in mixed martial arts, but at least in active competition. Regardless, even if it is a grappling match. And the fact that he beat George Hardwick is just unreal because George Hardwick is awesome, and I hope to see him in the UFC soon. I think Al-Selwady is faster. I think he's more athletic, and I think he hits harder. He is the slight favorite at -165, and that's who I'm going with in this first one. What's up, Hoggy from home? What's up, No Chill MMA? Good to see you. I watched your video in preparation for this. You're now going to be in my rotation. Good to see you, man. Keep up the good work. Go check out his channel as well, guys, for his UFC rundown and prospect videos and more content to come. Number 2, Ludwig Klein up against AJ Cunningham. Now, Ludwig Klein was supposed to have another opponent, AJ Cunningham, taking this on relative short notice. Now, I don't think it's like a couple days. It's not like a few days notice by any means, but he wasn't supposed to be the original opponent. So, I mean, there's a reason why the odds are the way they are. AJ Cunningham, the Savage, 11-3 as a pro, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He lost on Contender Series and bounced back on the regional scene. Yeah, against an 8-10 guy. Like, if you can even call that a bounce back versus someone putting a tomato can under his feet and saying, "Stomp, boy, stomp." 4 KO TKOs, 4 submissions, 3 decisions, 1-1 in LFA, 0-1 on Contender Series. Yes, Stephen Nguyen beat him, knocked him out in the second round, and then you better finish this opponent if you want any chance to come to the UFC. Well, I guess he's in the UFC, so yeah, I don't know. It just sucks to see that these guys get those replacement contracts because they're local. And hey, it's smart tax on his part again, because he's local, he's in the States. I mean, what's he out of Vegas? But regardless, he's not that great. Okay, he's not that great. Ludovic is absolutely going to destroy him, in my opinion. 24-1 as a pro, 29 years of age. Is Mr. Highlight. 8 KO TKO, 8 submissions, 4 decisions. This guy's an absolute savage. 4-2-1 in the UFC, 2-0 in ACB. So yeah, he's supposed to fight Joel Alvarez, but that was canceled. He beat Ignacio Bahamondes in his last one. Bahamondes had a good first round, and then the second and third, Klein just big broed him. Draw against Jai Herbert, beat Mason Jones, beats Devontae Smith. Lost to Nate the Train in the third round, but it was a fun first 2 rounds, and then lost unanimous decision to Trezano, who, when Trezano was coming up here, 8-1, I believe, had just won the Ultimate Fighter recently. So actually has some good wins on his UFC and MMA resume. Like I said, this one is the fact that this fight is going on. It's because Ludovic Klein probably flew out already to the United States, and they're like, all right, we got to give you a fight. So, yeah, the Arkansas guy, he ain't going to get this done. I thought maybe he was out of Vegas, but no, he's out of Arkansas. He ain't going to get this done. We're going Ludovic Klein here. Easy money. Next prelim, Christian Leroy Duncan against Claudio Ribeiro. Now, Claudio Ribeiro, I always have to go back and watch his last fight or his last 2 fights. Because I'm still, whenever I hear Claudio Ribeiro, my mind takes me to his Contender Series knockout, which was unbelievable. He scored a tremendous knockout on Dana White Contender Series. Since then, though, he beat a lot of lesser opponents on the regional scene, and he knocked them out, which is awesome. Okay, and I thought, maybe this guy has something coming into the UFC. He was humbled pretty quickly. But speaking of being humbled quickly as well, Christian Leroy Duncan comes into the UFC undefeated. Ends up losing his first fight in the UFC as well, although he bounced back tremendously in his last fight. Let's take a look at Claudio Ribeiro, 31 years of age, plus 240. He is the underdog. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He did lose his last fight. 11 KO TKO, 0 submissions, 0 decisions. So damn, son, I always have to pinch myself and be like, no, come back down to earth. He's good. He's dangerous. But he's not super polished. Okay, 1-2 in the UFC, 1-0 off Contender Series. Lost to Roman Kopylov. Beat Joseph Holmes, which that's a win. It's a win. Lost Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who is a dangerous striker, much like him. Left hook, beautiful right off the bat in the first round there. Beating 8-1 guy on Contender Series. And then before then, there's an 8-3 guy in there, 5-1. But other than that, he just knocked out guys who weren't that great. So he's got a lot of power and he is dangerous. He's not super polished. Whereas Christian Leroy Duncan, kind of the opposite. Now, he's dangerous as well, but he's a lot more polished than that of a Claudio Ribeiro, in my opinion. A little bit younger too, 28 years of age. And he's 9-1, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. 7 KO TKO, 1 submission, 1 decision, 2-1 in the UFC, 7-0. He was undefeated in Cage Wars. Absolutely destroyed Dennis Tululin. Let's be honest. And Dennis, I loved Dennis when he came out of M1, came into the UFC, but he's looked so bad in the UFC since. So knew that was going to happen. He absolutely destroyed him then. Lost unanimous decision to Armen Petrosian, who again, no easy opponent to go up against, especially because it primarily stayed on the feet, and that's what Petrosian obviously dominates. And that's it for the UFC. Other than that, he beat the best of what Cage Warriors could offer him in his weight class. When he was 2-0, he's going against a 5-0 guy, 5-1 after that. When he was 1-0, going up against 4-2 guy. And when he made his debut, he was going up against a 3-1 guy. Now, he did have a decorated amateur career, huge amateur career, going 17-6, but still, I love his pro resume. And I'm picking him to win. He's a top Cage Warriors guy, like I said before, coming over to the UFC. Won his last UFC fight. I think he's a better kickboxer and just better striking all around. He's very strong. He may not have that same one-punch power that a Ribeiro has, but he's very strong. So if Ribeiro does want to take this to the ground, or if Christian Leroy Duncan does want to rack up some control time in this, he's very strong in the clinch. He's got good takedown defense. And Ribeiro's last fight was a knockout, okay? Was a knockout. And like I said before, Ribeiro hadn't, compared to Christian Leroy Duncan, has not taken out the same names, the same caliber of competition that Christian Leroy Duncan has on the regional scene, respectively. But he does have that dangerous KO power. So anyways, I got Christian Leroy Duncan to win this one. Let's quickly check back in with you guys here in the comments. What's up, Charles Barkley? What's going on? This card is booty. What's up, Andrew? Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. What's up, Matt R? If you want the answers to test my Tapology picks, they're the top of the discussion. What's up, Robert? Great to see you, my man. Best underdogs are Perez and Rozenstruik. Lost to Nate the Chain. That's understandable. Dude, I love Nate the Chain, man. He's such a fun fighter to watch. Hockey's got Klein. You have Abdul. Dude, Rangers in first place. Just look at that, dude. We're going to have that against Canucks Rangers Stanley Cup Finals. 20 years. 20th anniversary. 20 years later. Wasn't that in 94? 94 was Rangers Canucks, right? And Canucks, even though they lost in New York, burnt down Vancouver. Yep, I saw that hockey. I saw it. The rematch. Let's go. Dude, I'm so down for that. Chuba's going to try to take Pettersson's head off 5 minutes into the game. Same results. Yeah, the city still gets burnt to the ground. But I think the Canucks might actually win this one. But even if the Canucks win, the city's going to be burnt to the ground. Check my highlights from today. It was a fun day. We talked about you. Cool. All right, let's continue, guys. Let's continue. We got Javid, and keep the comments coming, guys. We'll check back in with them after the next 3 fights. Appreciate you guys turning up for these Thursday prediction videos. You guys are awesome. Javid Basharat, the Snow Leopard, 14-0. He is undefeated. His last fight was canceled as he destroyed Victor Henry's gonads. Kick right to the balls. It was so bad the fight had to be called off, and he went to the hospital after. Hope he's doing okay now. Wasn't the broadcast like ripping on Henry too at that point? I mean, I'll never get that. I know sometimes our live chats during our fight companions do rip on the guys, and it's like, bro, like, you are men. You are a male. Empathize with your brother. But anyways, Javid Basharat getting another chance back in the cage against Aiemann Zahabi. Sorry, I thought he was Ariel Hawani for a second. Now, Zahabi, 10-2 as a pro. He's on a good little win streak right now. 3-fight win streak, 3-2 in his last 5 fights, fighting out of Montreal, Quebec, where Javid Basharat, fighting, isn't he in Las Vegas now? He's out of Extreme Couture in Vegas. Afghani heritage, grew up in England, but now he's in Vegas out of Extreme Couture. Zahabi, let's take a look at his resume first. A respectable 10-2, quietly, like not a big MMA career, but a good MMA career nonetheless. He's 36 years of age. He was getting up there in age, tri-star guy. And I know he's faced some injuries in the last few years, which has kept him out of steady competition. 5 KO, TKO, 3 submissions, 2 decisions. So he is pretty well-rounded, 4-2 in the UFC. That's right. He's been in the UFC since 2017. Having said that, he only has 6 fights in the UFC, whereas you look at like Mokaev, for example, he's been in the UFC for 3 years and he has 2 years and he has 6 fights, which is crazy. He scored a knockout in his last fight. Beat Ricky Turcio. That was a weird fight. Beat Draco Rodriguez, 7-1 guy, 11-2. Then Liang. I mean, he's got some power, but I'll say good win because he's against a guy, you know, a veteran. Lost Vince Morales and Ricardo Ramos back-to-back in the UFC, but has bounced back since. But yeah, man, like he takes a lot of time off. And again, I know he was suffering a lot of injuries throughout this time here. Pandemic and things like that. And he has some good wins on his resume too. He beat a 13-4 guy when he was only 6-0, and he's 5-0, beat a 3-1 guy. Yeah, not a good record, but when you're 3-0, you'll take it. You'll take it. And then 2 fights on the amateur scene as well. Javid Basharat, undefeated, like we said, out of Extreme Couture. 5 KO, TKO, 6 submissions, 3 decisions. I really like that. 3-0-1 in the UFC, 1-0 off Contender Series. Went the distance with Mendoza. I thought he would be able to beat him. I really did. And beat him. He did beat him. I thought he was going to finish him is what I meant. I really thought he was going to finish him there. But we saw Mendoza in his last fight after dropping down a weight class. The guy likes to fight a boring fight. So I guess in hindsight, that was a little bit, you know, if your dance partner is not going to dance, there's only one way to win it. Good win against veteran Tony Gravely. Trevin Jones. I mean, Trevin Jones isn't that good, but he beat him handedly. And then on Contender Series, nasty guillotine in the 3rd round after beating up this cat for 2 rounds before then. Fought an Octagon. And then a bunch of other random MMA promotions. Mixed bag of opponents, like records here. Like you'd be a 2-39 guy. Like, what the fuck is that shit? But then a 5-0 guy, right? 3-3, 4-4, 0-6, right? But we've all seen this guy fight. We know how explosive he is. We know how talented he is, and he was taking the fights that he could get at that point. I don't think now, upon seeing the Basharat brothers in the UFC, I don't think that they were padding their record, so to speak. I think Zahabi's good, but I'm going with Basharat here. I think a friggin' -700 is absolutely... I think it's too big. Like, I do think he's going to win. But -700, again, I mean, maybe he plows through, you know, a Zahabi and give him a ranked opponent next, or give him somebody who's a step up in competition, right? This is a good matchup, though. This is a good matchup as far as it is another well-rounded guy, a little bit older, a guy who's been in the UFC for a little while, and yeah, I like this matchup. I think he's just better all around. I think his grappling is a level above Zahabi's. His striking's probably the same. He's faster. He's more explosive. They've each been taking out guys of similar level. Like I said about Zahabi, he's well-rounded. He's not bad. Nothing special. And Basharat's just more talented. And at 28 years old, I mean, he still has some time to improve as well. Like, we might see things we haven't seen from him in his next few fights before he gets to that 30 and starts just, 30, 31, 32 and starts polishing what he's good at and going for it respectfully. But yeah, I'm going with Javid Basharat on this one. What's up, Big Scott? Good to see you. Vinicius Oliveira against Benardo. Is it Sopaj? Anyways, this fight thrown together on relative short notice. Now, both of them were preparing for a fight. Oliveira for a different opponent. Benardo had a fight next week on the regional scene. So fighting a week earlier, but he has been in a training camp. So I do think that this is going to be a competitive fight. 11-2 for the Lion King, and 9-3 for Lock Dog. Look at that. And why is it whenever guys have like animal fucking nicknames, they always seem to go up against each other in the UFC? Anyways, 23 years of age, out of Sweden, plus 145. He's a slight underdog. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Oh, he trains at an All-Stars. That's a good gym. I mean, what other high-end gym is there in Sweden? 7 KO, TKO, 3 submissions, 1 decision. Beat 11-4 guy in his last fight. 5-2, 5-1. Split decision in Brave against an 8-1 guy. Damn. 6-0 guy in Brave. Nice. So he's actually fought in Brave, which is awesome to see. Oliveira, 19-3 as a pro. 15 freaking knockouts, ladies and gentlemen. 2 submission, 2 decision. He's never been submitted. He's never gone the distance and lost. All 3 of his losses have come via KO, TKO. Won his fight on Contender Series. 5-1 in UAE Wars, which I liked. I don't think UAE Wars is as good as Brave, but it is a very good promotion. And then 2-1 in Future Fighting Championship. Beat a 12-2 guy in UAE Wars for beating his opponent via left hook in Contender Series. 13-3 guy. Yeah, I remember that one. That was nasty. He lost to Ali Talib on UAE Warrior. What's he been up to? And now he's gone up. Damn. He's gone on to put together a 9-1 record. So that loss actually aged pretty good, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, I mean, this guy's been taking out and knocking out absolute savages in UAE Warriors. I am going to go with Oliveira on this one. But this 23-year-old man, like, he's good. He's good. Both them 4-1 in their last 5 fights. Both now have been served up brand new opponents here. Benardo is the better grappler. He's good at dragging his opponents to the ground via body lock. He's good at holding them up against the cage and dictating where the next chapter of the fight is going to be. His striking, as you saw there, it's fine, but it's not on Oliveira's level, and Oliveira will be bigger than him, I think. Will be bigger than him, as Bernardo is he's just a little bit leaner. He's just a little bit leaner. Oliveira's a very good striker. He's got that power. And his style's a little wild. It's a little crazy. It's hard to prepare for, especially in a few days' notice here. Oliveira's also got some beautiful kicks at all level. Low kick, mid-range, and high kick. And he's going to come in a little bit bigger as well. But yeah, keep your eye on this Benardo, though, kid, because he's got so much time to develop, and I think he's going to be something really good. He is a legitimate prospect, but yeah, Oliveira is an absolute savage, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what I'm picking for this one. All right, up the card, we have Eryk Anders against Jamie Pickett. And I ask you folks, how the hell is Jamie Pickett still in the freaking UFC? 13-10 as a pro, and he's on a 4-fight losing streak, okay? And I know one of them was to Bo Nickel, so okay, we're gonna give you a layup fight in Josh Frem. You can't even beat Josh Frem. Anyways, Jamie Pickett, the Night Wolf. 13-10, one of the OG Contender Series guys. He was on one of the earlier seasons, up against your boy Eryk Anders, who's they're both getting up there in age. 36 years of age, 35 years of age for Pickett. Eryk Anders 15-8, and he's 2-3 in his last 5 fights. He's coming off a loss. 9 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 5 decisions, 7-8-1 in the UFC, 2-0 in LFA, 1-0 in Bellator. He did beat Kyle Dawkins in a grappling match, though, recently. So there you go. Went the distance against Marc-Andre Barriault. It actually was a pretty fun fight to watch. Beat Kyle Dawkins in the UFC. He's been grappling a lot. As of late on the Fury Pro grappling scene. Lost to Jung Young Park split decision. I think it was like the right decision, but that was a good back and forth affair. Jung Young Park is a tough fighter to beat. He's just a well-rounded, unranked guy, but a good unranked guy. Andre Muniz, tough guy to beat. Beat Darren Stewart. Lost to Jocko. I mean, if you look now, it doesn't look like he's been doing good as of late, but if you watch Anders fight and you watch him grapple, it's like he still has more left in the tank than friggin' Jamie Pickett, in my opinion. His losses, he's looked better than Jamie Pickett has in his losses. 8 KO TKO, 1 submissions, 4 decision, 2-6 in the UFC, 1-2 in Contender Series. Again, lost to Josh Frem, which that's not a good loss. Lost to Bo Nick. Okay, we'll give it to you. Lost to Dennis Tialulin. Now, I liked Dennis Tialulin coming into the UFC. I quickly realized that Dennis Tialulin is not UFC level, yet he's beaten the Jamie Picketts of the world. So what does that say about Jamie Pickett? And he lost you lost to Kyle Dawkins. Get the fuck out, right? Get the fuck out. Beat Joseph Holmes. mean, back when Josephson was 7-1. So, yeah, I don't know. Eryk Anders is going to win this one. I don't know why Jamie Pickett is still in the UFC. I have no idea. It blows my mind, to be perfectly honest. Anders is still better. He's always been better, and he's still better. Yeah, I wrote that in my notes. He used to be and still is. He's got good grappling. He's got good striking. He still fights at a very high pace, and we saw that in the Marc-Andre Barriault fight. His cardio's good. This honestly, whether it's unanimous decision or finish, this should look like easy work for ya boy, Eryk Anders. All right, before we get to the 7th fight on the card, let's check back in with the comments here, guys. Yo, what's up, Void mate? Good to see you, man. Look at his bicep. Look at his bicep. What's up, Western Mass Climber? Good to see you, man. Hawk from home. You're talking about us today. 2-39, right? He's 2-48 currently. He's still fighting? That's insane. Basha at UFC doesn't have finish in the UFC. I kind of want to play the under 2.5 at 175 plus 175 and hope for a Basha at finish. I like that, Big Scott. I like that. By the way, Big Scott, it's good to see you, my man. I got Basha. I got Oliveira. I got all the favorites for this weekend. There will be blood. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Pickett is already retired, yo. What's up, Phony? Good to see you. Pickett 13-10 lost to Dawkins. Yup. Voted for Matt because who the fuck even are those guys? What's up, Denial? Eryk sub guys, black belt. Yeah, boy. Ilya Tapuria is not even on this card. What's up, buddy? What's up, Ethan? Good to see you. Phony. I thought it was Dagestani privilege. Phony's just stuck. Like, you just can't stop thinking about them, eh? You just can't stop thinking about them. Every stream. Too many bobbleheads. Dana White privilege. All right, let's continue on here. Matt Schnell versus Steve Erceg. Now, Steve Erceg didn't look good in that 3rd round in his last fight. Gassed hard. He had a lot of helium based on his first UFC fight coming in short notice, beating his guy. Doesn't have finishing ability. Matt Schnell has jiu-jitsu, but he's got a glass chin. Honestly, I think this one might be, I mean, I didn't sell it based on what I just said there, but I think this one might be one of the most exciting fights on the card. This one might be the people's main event on the card, as they both fight at a high pace. Now, for Erceg, it's a 2-round pace. For Schnell, it's like he just keeps coming back from the dead until his chin actually goes. Again, guys, Matt Schnell versus Suma Dajari, one of the most underrated UFC fights that I've seen in my entire life. Now, was it a back and forth, just war on the feet standing? No, but it was a back and forth as far as momentum. Each of them were dropped a few times. Each of them escaped submissions. It was a bloody mess. It was an awesome fight. Matt Schnell's won me over, has won my respect, like, from that fight forever. Does that mean I'm going to pick him every time? No, but highly recommend that fight, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into my breakdown here, though, let's quickly look at the fighters. Steve Erceg, Astro Boy, 11-1 as a pro. 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Going up against Danger Matt Schnell at flyweight, I should say. Matt Schnell having another big cut. And the last time he cut to flyweight, he had to friggin' shave his head to make weight. So, I mean, he already has kind of a glass chin at flyweight when you're already depleted. I don't like seeing him at flyweight, but anyways, 16-7 as a pro. What is this? 1 no contest and 2-2. So 2-2-1 in his last 5 fights. He's 34 years of age and he is the underdog, and I don't have any issue with that. It's hard to trust that chin, especially at flyweight. 2 KO TKOs, 9 submissions, 4 decisions, and 1 win via disqualification. 6-5 and 1 no contest in the UFC, and is 6-2 in Legacy. So he was actually supposed to fight Erceg. at the end of the year, but that fell through. He was also supposed to fight Dvorak. So he hasn't fought for over a year. Damn. Yeah, he hasn't fought in a while. He lost to Nicolau. Yeah, he got dropped and then ground and pound. Again, this fight, guys, go watch this fight. This was such a good fight. Such a good fight. Lost to Royval. 3 canceled bouts against Alex Perez. I mean, not surprised. That is Alex Perez's signature move is fight cancellations. No contest against Butorin. Won a split decision against Tyson Nam, but man, that one was close. And I'm pretty sure Nam dropped him in that fight, if I recall correctly. Lost against Pantoja, but put together a decent win streak before then. Man, he's been in the UFC for a while, eh? Yeah, he was on that season of The Ultimate Fighter. We lost to Rob Font in the finals. Yeah, Schnell's been around for a while, man. But it was that Suma Jari fight where I was like, okay. This is the funnest. This is the most fun I've ever seen. This is the funnest fight I've ever seen with Matt Schnell involved. Astro Boy Steve Erceg. The nickname is so fitting because he fucking looks like him, man. Minus 310. He is the favorite. Only 28 years of age, out of Australia. 1 KO TKO, 6 submissions, 4 decisions, 2-0 in the UFC, 7-0 in Eternal. Eternal's getting better, by the way, guys. It's getting better every month. I think they put on a show now, every 2 months or so. Again, looked great in the first round, looked good in the second round, third round, man, he gassed. And Costa actually put up a pretty good fight in that third round. Looked good against Dvorak. Again, went decision, but he came into the UFC on short notice, fought Dvorak. And I believe Dvorak was like 15th ranked or something like that. So I'm pretty sure he got his ranking as well. Before then, beat a 4-1 guy, 7-5, 2-0, 12-4, and not the best record. Not the best resume, I should say. Good record, not the best resume. Did fight Dennis Bondar on the regional scene. He lost to him, but that was on the amateur scene, but that was his only amateur loss, going 5-1 on the amateur scene. I have Steve Erceg winning this one. Again, this one could be the people's main event. I think the first 2 rounds will be electric, and then it's either Matt Schnell is going to get knocked down multiple times and put out via submission or ground and pound, or it's going to be Steve Erceg gassing and Schnell trying to utilize wrestling and get a submission on him. But I think Erceg is going to win. He's got the better chin. He is the better striker. Schnell is a good test for him, though, because Schnell has a great gas tank. He's got decent wrestling. He's got flashy submissions in his arsenal. Erceg's not the best finisher, but I do think he will outstrike Schnell and probably drop him once or twice. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Erceg's going to drop someone because it's going to be Matt Schnell at flyweight. I think it's going to be a unanimous decision for Erceg overall, but I think the first 2 rounds are going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, Steve Erceg, that is my pick. Moving on to the next one. We got the return of Umar Nurmagomedov against the debutant Bekzat Almakhan. Now, Umar was supposed to fight Corey Sandhagen. Rob Font ended up taking that fight, if I'm not mistaken. By the way, he sounds so like his mannerisms and just the way he sounds so much like his uncle, so much like Habib. I was watching the press conference before, or the fighter interviews before jumping on here, and it's scary how much he reminds me of Khabib, everything about him. But anyways, the way he talks, mannerisms, that kind of stuff. Talk about going from, the top of the division fight to a guy making his debut. Now, minus 1,200, it's too much. It is. I'm sorry, it is. I know he's undefeated. He is no slouch. This isn't some random American from Arkansas that they threw in there to fill in. He's a damn good fighter, okay? Do I think Umar is better? Yes, and we'll get into why I think that. But this is absolutely ridiculous, okay? Now watch, Umar's going to throw some fucking spinning kick that he's never thrown before and land right on his jaw and beat him in 10 seconds. And then if that happens, you guys can all or a crazy Superman punch or something knocks him out. Then you guys can come at me on the fight companion. But I don't know. This just blows my mind. It blows my mind. But again, I don't know. Maybe I'm out to lunch here. The underdog, 26 years of age, out of Kazakhstan, 17-1, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. 13 KO TKO, 2 submissions, 2 decisions, 6-0 in Octagon, 6-0 in Zek, and 2-1 in Bushido Fighting Championship. Beat a 15-5 guy, 12-4, 14-1, 12-4, 10-3 in his last 5 fights, okay? And only one of those went the distance. Yet Umar's minus 1,200. Man, look at his record here. Look at his resume. Oh, this is one of the more critical fighters, and he was 6-0. Okay, you should have been fighting someone better at that age, or at that point in your career. 4-0 against a guy making their debut, whatever. 4-1 guy when he's 1-0. Man, he's nasty. He's nasty. Umar, on the other hand, fucking nasty too, right? And I do think Umar's a level above this guy, 100%, but minus 1,200 above. 2 KO TKO, 7 submission, 7 decisions, 4-0 in the UFC, 2-0 off the PFL. The only one, in the last, what did we say, like 8-9 years to, or the only one ever to KO. Yeah, the only person ever to KO Ronnie Barcelos, beat Nate Maness, beat Brian Kelleher. Yeah, he's passed all his tests in the UFC, man. He's passed all his tests in the UFC, and actually has a really good resume also outside of the UFC. Like, I mean, I don't know what more you guys want me to say. Everyone who's watching right now knows how good of a prospect Umar Nurmagomedov is. Even if, can you even call him a prospect anymore? This guy, he's a prospect. He's a prospect coming in. Sucks, yes, he had to come in like this, but hey, stamp your ticket into the UFC however way you can. I'm going with Umar Nurmagomedov, okay? But I think these are insane odds, especially since the Kazakh is very, very good. Umar just might be that much of a crazy talent. And that's why I said, like, he could be a level above him, right? And that's why I picked him to win. He's stronger, I believe that, as Bekzat just looks a little bit more frail's not the right, skinny. I don't know why I went to frail instead of skinny first. Whereas like Umar is massive for the division. So Umar, again, probably stronger, which goes to, okay, well, Umar's just going to smother him and beat him the Dagestani way. Yeah, he might. And again, that's why I picked him. Having said that, the Kazakh has faced guys with a wrestling heavy style before, was able to keep it on the feet, was able to get back up to his feet, and was able to fight his fight, which was more of a stand-up affair. I do think, actually, I know this from watching the few fights of Almakhan. He is a better striker than Umar, but Umar is well-rounded enough to be able to strike with these guys, and his wrestling, from what I saw, I knew it was better. I mean, he's a Nurmagomedov, and he's just bigger. He's stronger. If it goes up against the cage, he's going to be able to dictate where the next part of the fight goes. But again, minus 1,200. I hope this kid makes even the first and second round competitive if Umar ends up getting a finish later in the fight. Just so we never see this much of a disrespect going into a fight again with him involved. Umar Nurmagomedov, that is my pick. All right. Featured fight on the card, ladies and gentlemen. We have Alex Perez against Muhammad Mokaev. 10-0 for Muhammad Mokaev. Undefeated, man. Undefeated. Has he been tested in the UFC a few times? Absolutely. Still undefeated. Going up against Alex Perez, 24-7, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He did lose his last 2. Only 31 years of age. He's coming in as the pretty big underdog here, plus 285. 5 KO TKO, 7 submissions, 12 decisions, 6-3 in the UFC. 1-0 off Contender Series. He's one of those OG Contender Series guys as well. Early Contender Series guys, but my goodness, I'm glad to see he snuck some sort of competition in 2023. as he went to a draw in a grappling match, the UFC Fight Pass Invitational. But before then, canceled fight against Cap, canceled fight against Kai Car-France, canceled fight against Amir Albazi, lost to Pantoja. Before then, canceled against Askarov, canceled against Schnell 3 freaking times. Askarov 4 times. Oh my goodness. 4 times he was supposed to fight Schnell, and twice Askarov. By the way, Askarov's not even in the UFC anymore. He left, and he's been fighting. Where the heck is Askarov fighting? Sorry to take this off the rails here. He's fighting in ACA again? Okay. Yeah, he went back to ACA. Which is weird because I imagine the UFC was paying him more. Maybe not. And then a loss to Davison Figueiredo, no shame in, and Joseph Benavidez. I mean, look at the guys he's lost to in the UFC. Benavidez, Figueiredo, Pantoja. No shame in that. Muhammad Mokaev, hardly the Punisher, but the Punisher. 1 KO, TKO, 6 submissions, 3 decisions, 5-0 in the UFC, 4-0-1 in Brave. Honestly, it was a great win against Tim Elliott because Tim Elliott was giving him all that he could handle in the first and second round. God, I wish that knee to grounded opponent rule was a thing. But anyways, the Philo win was, again, he earned my respect in that one, Mokaev, as Philo almost beat him there, almost freaking tore his knee right off. He was able to withstand that pain, withstand that injury, and end up winning the fight, coming back and winning the fight late. Beat Malcolm Gordon, Charles Johnson, Cody Durden. I mean, every step up in competition he took, every test the UFC threw at him in his early career, he's passed, man. And beating Tim Elliott was huge. Beating Tim Elliott is huge. This is the next step in Alex Perez. Again, Alex Perez canceled bouts and lack of activity aside. Like, Alex Perez is a way better fighter than anybody on this list. Like, Tim Elliott was that guy. Alex Perez, I think at this stage, is still a little bit better. You can make an argument for that, but you guys know what I mean as far as the tier goes. Like, if Alex Perez was healthy and active, like, you saw who he lost there. He's probably still up there, or, in the top 10 at least in the division. Anyways, this one's tough because when Perez is on, he's fucking on, dude. Mokaev, every single time I watch him fight, he disappoints me. A guy this young, I should see the striking coming along. I should see just more aspects of his game coming along. He's very one-dimensional. Now, he's doing it well, and his heart, strength, and skill on the mat is what's getting him the wins, and I can't fault him for that. But he leaves me wanting more. And if he really is going to be champion in the UFC, now he's 23 years of age. There's time. There's a lot of time, don't get me wrong. But not if he keeps ripping his knee, you know what I mean? Oh, man. This one's been tough. I was going back and forth with this one all day. I'm going with Mokaev. Ring rust has proven to be a thing. As much as I'm not impressed with Mokaev as of late, I don't know if I trust Perez as of late, and that's what it comes down to. I think maybe Perez probably wins the first and second round, and Mokaev somehow finds a way to finish him in the third, or Perez dominantly beats him in the first, and then Mokaev starts to drag out a second round and win the third. I mean, these are the patterns that we see from a Mokaev. I do think Mokaev is the better grappler, and he's, like I said, he's got submissions in his arsenal. Perez is the better fighter. He's just been inactive. He's just nursed injuries. Even when he grappled a Fight Pass Invitational, that was in 2020, mid 2023. And like in my notes, I have all these good things to say about Perez, but it just comes down to like, I think the ring rust. I think the ring rust against a wrestler who doesn't get tired in Mokaev. He's just going to keep pushing the pace. And that's where I think he edges out this win. Could Mokaev get cracked on the feet? Absolutely. Mokaev is good, not great. It's crazy to think how he's confident, so he's going to say, like, I want to be champion someday. But it's crazy to read, like, on Twitter and all these people who are like, oh, this guy's he's going to be champion in a couple of years. No, he's not. Unless he learns how to strike. Unless he gets stronger up against the cage. No, he's not. If Mokaev wins this, though, we need a, like, No caveat, no asterisks. Next test. Okay? We don't need a more one-dimensional style Tim Elliott. We don't need an Alex Perez who's better than him and more well-rounded, but who, never fights. We need an active, ranked fighter. I mean, I don't know, like someone who, if he beats, it's like, okay, you are in the title mix now. You are legit. And if he loses, well, back to the gym and work on, what needs to be polished, quite frankly, if you ever want to be champion. Great test. Even though I picked Mokaev to win, I want to see Perez succeed. I want to see him get back in the win column. I want to see Perez a little bit more active here in his early 30s. But Mokaev going to win this one. Close unanimous decision, or I'll say split decision if it goes the distance, or he subs him in the third. Subs Perez in the third. All right, let's go back to the comments here before we get to the co-main and main quick. I'm taking the... Oh, here, let me start up here. What's up, Joe? What's up, Poeton? What's up, who else I missed? JC. Inca is on tonight. It's on Facebook. Erceg is due for a finish. 2 decisions in the UFC. He's getting in the distance, not... He's getting in the distance, not under... Wait, not... Or he's getting ITD, not UD. Dagestani, we're cousins, will make it... Okay. You have Dagestani privilege. Matt by attrition. Yeah, Inca's on Facebook. Inca's on Facebook. Schmel is getting subbed. Hulk Hogan is the best wrestler in the world. Yeah, I am. Hell yeah, guys. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. I want cereal. Dude, I haven't eaten cereal in 2 years. Over 2 years. What's up, Poeton? Good to see you. Pinche Walter, my friend. Good to see you, Walter. How are you, buddy? Dude, I don't even know anymore. It's been too long. I've been out of the cereal game for too long. I was going to say 167. Damn, son. Ooh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is God tier cereal. Catalina Crunch Cinnamon. Oh, that sounds good. With me with cereal, it's like a drug. If I have one bowl, I'll eat the whole box. So I just don't buy it anymore. Yeah, never argued that I'd make it part of my last meal. Oh, me too. I would literally just have 4 boxes of cereal for my last meal. Endless milk. What's going on? What do you rate this card as a whole? Out of 5, a 1.5. Out of 10, 5.5, 6 at most. What about you, Joe? Waffle Crisp. I've never had Waffle Crisp. Again, I'm from Canada, so like our cereal is like half the cereals that you guys have in the States are banned in Canada because cigarettes are healthier than half the cereals in the States. Schnell's not winning. No, I don't think he wins. I haven't, but I've seen this YouTuber who does shorts, and he's been making and ranking the meals of like the craziest serial killers, or like the most craziest is, I don't know if crazy is glorifying them, the most brutal and disgusting serial killers. He's been who are on death row, or were put on death row. He's making their last meals, and he talks about them a little bit, and it's like a short series, like a tier list. It's pretty good, actually. I see a shit ton of finishes and people are hating on it, but I'm actually enjoying this card. Put it this way, there will be blood. Last week I thought the same. I may have to sprinkle a little something on Almakhan. Umar decision. Bro doesn't know when it's going to fight again. He just wants to fight. I read this card 5 Balals, which is almost one whole Rose versus card. Best comment so far. Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's a good series. Uncle Roger and Steve we're good. Oh shit. Fluffy's episode is good. Hard to be bad at if you're that size. Umar's record is almost as padded as a month-long women's retreat. Dude, you got the zingers here today. I have Umar by KO plus 500. Hey, I hope it hits for you, but he's not much of a knockout artist, much like his cousin in Bellator. Decision even better odds. His fight with Tim Elliott was great. I think Tim Elliott was beating him in the first and second round personally. It was a good fight though. As far as him, like, you know, checking the box, passing the test, it was like, okay, you got out of it. You got out of it. And you beat Tim. Finished him no less. I'm taking the over 5.5 or 5.5 line on the number of times Alhamdulillah is said in a post-fight in ring interviews on this card. Yeah, there's probably going to be a lot. Easy money, bro. What's up, King James? Good to see you. What's up, JL? Yikes. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't worried, brother. I'm glad you're here. Rozenstruik, my fraud, check him. You want a fighter with a big name that would constitute an immediate title shot by beating? I know a perfect fighter to light the whole division on fire. The unforgettable Bilal Hassan, the real Bilal. Remember the name, Bilal Hassan. There's somebody else in the UFC. I can't remember his fucking name, though. It's similar, but who cares? Bilal. Bilal will get a title shot with 3 wins in the UFC. Let's go, Bilal Hassan. He started watching our stuff on YouTube, by the way. He has a great YouTube channel as well. Big shout out to Bilal. I see Pedro winning. Anything can happen. JL saying this card is fucking horrible. I'm sorry, but it's a dog's breakfast. One of my favorite radio hosts in Vancouver, dog's breakfast was one of his things he said. So that just nostalgia right there. Mokaev has almost been finished in all of his fights. I'm watching RDR get humbled tomorrow, but watch him submit him. Almakhan didn't look like super depleted. He looked small, but like it looked like his diet, his training, his nutrition in the months leading up to this all were awesome. Do you remember, Jail? A month ago, we were talking about this on a stream. We saw him in Phuket, and he was only 8 pounds off. A month ago, he was only 8 pounds off. So Almakhan's going to destroy this man and become triple champ, baby. Yo, what's up, Shane? What are you having for dinner? Poetan was spitting with the chat. No, that's funny. Dude, love Poetan on the prowl for his prey. You're getting live stream mogged by Jamal Hill right now, G? I don't even know what mogged means, Khabib. Abbasov, I'm getting mogged. Abbasov in ACC now. Soon to be UFC talent. The the welterweight will be scared. Abbasov in ACC now. Soon to be a UFC talent. Welterweight should be scared. Someone has Bilal in their mind. Bilal. Oh, Bilal. That's the fighter's name. I got Bilal on my name, or on my mind a lot. Bilal is the greatest fighter with the name, I don't know, Lol. I had nothing cheeky off the top of my head for that one. I just know JL cannot stand Bilal. He thinks he's a fraud. And Bilal is the one who we're going to remember. Because when you throw kicks like that, when you have highlights like that, that's how you are remembered. Did you see the Chicago PD newest episode? Bilal is in it. Who? No, I haven't, though. That's cool. He's doing acting now? Already 1 foot out the door. Damn it. He should be focusing on a title shot, JL. Not acting. Habam, what are you trying to accomplish with your presence here? I think Adesanya's friend Blood Diamond is up next. He's uncommon amongst uncommon. No, he's horrible, dude. Dude, Khabib's straight trolling us right now. And he got cut from the UFC. He sucks. He's horrendous. And he got cut from the UFC. RDR hasn't fought MMA since November 2022. Chef Boyardee ravioli. Bilal Muhammad is the last samurai. Kind of tough when Almakhan hasn't defended his belt once. All challenging for belts. One is garbage for consistent MMA high level fights. They're garbage now, JL. Now they are. I know you live in the present and you don't live in the past, but between 2020 and like 2022, that's when people were saying that one championship was up there with the UFC is one of the best, or is like, as it was up there with like, not up there with the UFC, up there right behind the UFC. They were the number 2. So I agree with you now, but man, 2 years ago they had their MMA was humming. And an orange, maybe some cottage cheese. Did I see Volk's newest video? Man, he's making so many excuses. He's just saying, you know me, JL. Like I don't follow MMA drama. What's up, Metallica fam? Volk said he was perfect. And Ilya was in for a shock. And what did I tell you guys? What would happen if he lost? What happened with Bader again? I forget. What happened with Bader again? What did you say would happen with Bader again? I forget. Just because we're on the main event topics here. But anyways, I got nothing against Ilya, by the way. JL. He beat me in another main event head-to-head. I just want to make it clear in the live chat. I got nothing against Ilya. I can't wait to see Ilya fight again. Hey, you're learning. But okay, so what are you trying to dunk on me with right now? So we can get it out of the way. I told you what to bet. No, that's fine. So just hurry up, Jay. Let's get it out of the way so we can finish the rundown here because we have 2 more fights. I'm literally sitting here in silence waiting, JL. Because you're teeing up something. Just like roast me so we can move on. Is it because I didn't pick Ilya and that's the point of bringing up Volk, or you just wanted to bring it up because to dunk on me for not watching it? Like I'm not just want to prove my point. Didn't you prove your point last weekend? Like why are we talking about Ilya Volk again? I'm just confused. Like where's this coming from? Is it just because of the Volk video and you're like, it's a live stream, I just want to bring it up? Because I haven't seen the Volk video. You know me, like I am very much, I care about the fights. I'm not going to I don't watch Izzy's YouTube channel. I don't watch Volk's YouTube channel. I don't even know I don't even watch any fighter's YouTube channel really anymore. So like I haven't watched like excuses or explanations or anything like on that. So, if he's making excuses, that sucks to hear. I would have rather, hear him just be like, "Yep, the better man beat me, and time to get back in there and keep going." I can't wait to see Max KO him. Excited for BKFC in Edmonton and hope Jeremy Kennedy beats Pitbull. Yeah, BKFC in Edmonton tonight, or not tonight, this weekend. Frosted Flakes, as far as an underrated cereal. Loic and Zahabi are my favorite underdog picks for this card. What's up, Mikey P? I'm picking Ariel Helwani this weekend. That thing's just fresh in mind. Okay. Sounds good. I was just like, oh man, JL's in the chat late here, and I'm going to take more punches for not picking Ilya to win. I was like, I thought we went over that last week, but okay, no, gotcha. Yeah. Again, man, like I follow combat sports, but I follow combat sports. I don't just follow the UFC and everything in the UFC, right? As far as like the drama and the fighters' videos and things like that. That's what I got you for, JL. That's what I got you for. A, because I'm not really interested. B, I just don't have time. So I would rather watch their their pre-fights, press conferences, and things that they themselves don't put out for us to want to see, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Because all that shit's curated and it's hard to, especially if I'm looking at it with from the point of view of like, how is this going to help me make my picks, sort of thing. I hear Guru got a new wheelchair. I heard they were called legs. Volk literally didn't make any excuses. According to the video, the jail brought up he did. Mike, there's a ton of value parlaying over 1.5s in a bunch of the fights. Lots of -150s. I wouldn't say it's drama, it's news. Arrows for tabloid gossip. You see 304 targeted for Africa, South Africa, or Nigeria. What's up, Andrew? I have no idea. JL asked me if I watched one of his videos, and I hadn't. I'm also parlaying Gaziev, Mokaev, Petrino with the next week's card. Sean O'Malley, Gamera, Almeida, and Song at plus 1900. Amazing. Bilal Muhammad is the last samurai. That's because they both permanently remain out of the public eye and only use ancient, obsolete fighting styles. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you. Got work tomorrow, so I'll be missing one tomorrow. Can't wait for more one on Prime cards. Let's go. Yeah, I believe it is going to be on YouTube for us, though, Metallica fans. So you should be able to watch it after. I haven't yet, Andrew, but I'll check it out after this. Pickett, Anders, over 1.5. Duncan. Ribeiro, over 1.5. Mokaev, Petrino, and Gaziev. Rozenstruik, over 1.5 plus 1,000 odds. I like all of those. I like that, Mikey P. That I'm keen on, actually, even sprinkling a little some on. But anyways, okay. Dude, the live chat's buzzing. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to get back to the final fights here. Co-main event and main event of the evening. We have Vitor Petrino up against Tyson Pedro. Tyson Pedro, 10-4 as a pro. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He did win his last fight, though, beating Anton Turkalj. He knocked him out. Petrino, undefeated, 10-0. Already made a splash in the UFC. Tyson Pedro, 32 years of age, 5 KO, TKO, 5 submission, 0 decision. He has defeated all his opponents. When he goes the distance, he loses. 6-4 in the UFC. It's crazy to think that he's been in the UFC since 2016. Again, beat Anton Turkalj in his last fight, as he should have, because Turkalj is not that great. Lost to Modestas Bukauskas via unanimous decision. Beat Harry Hunsucker, not that great. And beat Villanueva, who again 18-13. Lost to Shogun in 2018. Lost to OSP, who is still kind of making some noise in 2018. He beat Khalil Roundtree. That's a really good win, but that was early in both of their careers. And he's got a win over Paul Craig as well. Other than that, Tyson Pedro, man, has never impressed me. Never impressed me. So hot, so cold. Like, it's absolutely insane. And his cardio is come si, come sa. Vitor Petrino, 10-0 as a pro, 26 years of age. He's the big favorite in this one. 7 KO, TKO, 1 submission, 2 decisions, 3-0 in the UFC, 1-0 off Contender Series. He beat Bukauskas in his last fight. Check hook and knocked him. I actually had Bukauskas winning that one. I thought it was going to go decision. I thought Bukauskas was going to win that one. So I got humbled in that one. He beat Prachnio. He beat Turkalj unanimous decision, which again, I would have. Pedro knocked out Turkalj, so. But I do think Turkalj took that fight on short notice against Pedro, so there's that. He had a full camp for this one, even though Anton Turkalj is awful. Petrino should have beat him, but hey, I think Turkalj was leaned on the heavy grappling in that one, if I'm not mistaken. He beat Bellato, who Bellato is now in the UFC, but he's not very good. And some good wins. UAE Warriors. Oh my God, these are horrible. He beat a 5-0 guy in his first fight. What a weird resume. 5-0 guy in his first fight, then 2 cans, 3 cans, 4 cans, then a legit guy in UAE Warriors, then comes into Contender Series, and has just been on fire ever since. I guess he did have a decent amateur career, going 4-1, but still. Interesting resume. But upon watching him in the cage, like, he's fucking good, man. He's fucking good, and that's why I'm picking him to win. Pedro's decent grappling, not the best cardio. I feel like they've fought literally the same guys, and then guys of similar competition as of late. Neither are super polished. Pedro is way too hit and miss for me to pick him. I don't think I'll ever pick Tyson Pedro to win a fight. Just like as far as I'm making my prediction, I just can't, dude. I just can't, unless he goes up against on Anton Turkalj, because I guess I did pick him to win that one. But he's just too hit and miss. He looks either really, really good or he looks horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Okay, so I'm going with the fighter who's kind of impressed me so far versus a guy who's either okay, you should be here, or what are you doing losing to Shogun in 2018, my man? You know what I mean? Yeah. Petrino, I know what he is. I know what he's going to bring. He's 28 and there's still room for us to see some improvements in his game. I don't think we're going to see Pedro improve much more than what he is right now. And he's a coin flip fighter. Petrino has insane power, talented striker, undefeated. I'm picking him to win. All right. Main event of the evening. What a main event of the evening, right? What a main event of the evening. I mean, we should see we should see some action in this heavyweight affair, though. I mean, I truly don't think, and that's me knocking on wood right now, that Gaziev is going to go full Russia and just, so he's not even from Russia, he's from Bahrain, but he looked like he was from Russia. He's not going to go full wrestler on him. I really don't think he is, and this is why. Okay? Gaziev likes to risk it. He likes to push forward and throw strikes. He likes to step in the pocket and throw hands. He elects to strike with guys that maybe he shouldn't. And I respect him for wanting to throw hands, and he's not afraid to at heavyweight. So that is one thing I'll say, Gaziev, I do like that about you. Having said that, not many guys that he's dominated on the feet in the regional scene have had a lot of success since. Only like one or two big names. Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I mean, he is a kickboxer, right? His grappling is meh. We've seen him get back up to his feet in the UFC. We've seen him evade takedowns in the UFC. We've seen him kind of like, oh shit, I'm on the ground, gotta panic, get back up to the feet. Like, he's got some good panic moves to get back up to the feet. He has been working on his wrestling, as he said. He has been drilling a lot of jiu-jitsu recently as well. And what did he say in his press conference? That like all the pieces are starting to come together as far as being more of a complete MMA fighter. He's a great kickboxer. His jab's awesome. His low kicks are insane. And those chicken legs of Gaziev, if he's not careful, might get picked up. Gaziev, undefeated. He is the slight favorite here, 34 years of age. 8 KO, TKO, 3 submission, 1 decision. He didn't even go for a takedown against Martin Buday. Didn't even shoot for a takedown against Martin Buday, and I think maybe he only had 1 attempt against Velasco. He did fight in Brave, he did fight in Eris. I like those promotions. And again, a couple names like this cat gone on to actually be something, so that's a good win. But again, split decision. Of course it's a split decision. The one guy I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy actually turned out to be something. Good amateur career, going 9-2. And I like how he's a well-rounded heavyweight. I will say, I do like that about Gaziev. I just don't think he's that great. Now, Rozenstruik, he's good at what he does. He's a really good striker, and as a heavyweight in the UFC, he can knock guys out. However, when he goes up against grappling heavy guys, and keyword grappling heavy guys, a guy who I don't necessarily put Gaziev in that category, despite him having grappling and wrestling in his arsenal more so than that of a Biggie Boy. Biggie Boy 13-5, 2-3 in his last 5. He did lose his last fight. Jelton Almeida got submitted. Training out of American Top Team, 12 KO, TKO, 0 submissions, 1 decision. So like that tells you everything you need to know about Biggie Boy. 1-0 in Ryzen, 7-5 in the UFC. Beat Chris Dawkins, but who hasn't? I believe did he take down Volkov? I believe he took down Volkov, if my memory serves me correctly. But anyways, Volkov ended up beating him early in the first round anyways. Curtis Blades just manhandled him in that one, but it did go decision. He beat Augusto Sakai when Sakai was kind of on his downward trend. He lost to Cyril Gane, but that one went unanimous decision. He traded with Cyril Gane there. Beat Noel Jr. Dos Santos. One of the guys that Francis Ngannou absolutely destroyed. Did beat an older, but he did beat Overeem in 2019. Arlovsky, who was still putting together wins, as crazy as it sounds, but like no one else of really note, in his MMA career, in his UFC career. Mind you, the heavyweight division in the UFC sucks, but the best guys that he went up against, Volkov, Blades, Ngannou, he got beat. Almeida, I cannot stand this fighter. I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to utter his name anymore. He's a light heavyweight. At heavyweight, I will turn off the stream next time he's fighting at heavyweight. I cannot stand him. I cannot stand him. Anyways, if Biggie Boy can keep this on the feet, he should win. Simple. If he thinks, and that is Gaziev, if Gaziev thinks he can strike with you, he will. I don't think he had any respect for Budai's striking, which is why we might see him just go the wrestling heavy game plan against Rozenstruik. But his career, his resume, his past fights would lead you to believe otherwise, at least in the opening frames of the fight. Gaziev leaves his chin open on the feet. We've seen it in every single one of his fights pretty much. He does get hit. And even if he does elect to go to the ground, he ain't no Almeida. Okay, he's not just going to lay on Rozenstruik and then try to submit him. And he's not I wrote here, he's not Almeida, i.e. finish threat in grappling pre-Lewis, because Almeida definitely made me absolutely hate him, and I will forever because of that fight. And it had nothing to do with who his opponent was, as I know some of you are going to say that in the live chat. It was that he could not finish a guy in full mount at the end of every round. What a disgrace to the sport. I'm going with Rozenstruik. Biggie Boy, he's going to knock him out. He's going to knock him out. All right. Degenerate parlay of the week, ladies and gentlemen. We are going with AJ Cunningham, Zahabi, and Almakhan. For the safe parlay of the week, we're going with Anders, Leroy Duncan, and Mokaev. Check it out for yourself. Whoops. There's the safe and degenerate parlay of the week. The degenerate's not going to hit, but if it does, guys, we rich. We're all rich. All right, I'm going to take your last comments here. Then I'm going to hang up the gloves because I got to get a good night's sleep, guys. I got to get a good night's sleep as we got one championship, 166 bright and early, and I still got to post my schedule for you guys. All right, where are we at here? Where are we at? Jamie Pickett, he's striking dummy. Still being on the roster is just bizarre. My safe parlay is Gaziev, Petrino, Mokaev at plus 166. It's all good, Andrew. It's all good. If Rozenstruik gets a 10-second KO, I'm going to be pissed. Hey, what's up across the way? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being an exclusive member. I'm not betting on this card after last week. Also, Gary Anders losing to Jamie Pickett would be the most Eryk Anders thing ever. Could definitely see him finding a way to lose. Tyson Pedro is very poop. He's not losing. Pedro never fought past round 1. You'd be surprised. Pedro has fought past round 1. He's lost 2 decisions. It's Eryk Anders. The real tenured MMA junkies in here. Remember when people were dropping Tyson Pedro's name as a possible threat to John Jones? I was belly laughing at the timeline back then. And it's even funnier now. Did they actually say he was going to be a competitor to John Jones back then? That's crazy. He's never won a fight past first round. I got him at minus 350 last week, but the current money line is way too high. I couldn't touch. Oh, I hope you feel better, Andrew. I hope you feel better. Anders at minus 350. Yeah, Petrino. What's Chael's new video title? Andrew's going Anders. Yeah, he lost 2 decisions. It would be better to bet the Anders fight at going the distance minus 110. Anders gets a finish. Pedro needs to get back those leg kicks he used against. Pickett sucks. Yeah, he's not good. I didn't see either of those 2 losses. Yeah, 2 losses. And he doesn't look good in the third. Why does the Rozenstruik get so many main events? Dude is the new Anthony Smith and Holly Holm. I think he's gotten 3. Because of fights like this, dude. Fight nights that don't have a lot of big star power and they have to give guys fights. Biggie Boy is going to get that main event. And heavyweight's just awful in the UFC. I know why all these armchair analysts are saying Gaziev is going to have success wrestling. He's never secured a takedown in the UFC or Dana White Contender Series, and Rozenstruik has 74% takedown defense. Yeah, because I don't think... And again, I'm not speaking on their behalf. I think a lot of people are saying that on the feet, he has no chance, so he's going to have to go to wrestling. And though Biggie Boy actually does have good takedown defense, I didn't realize it was 74%. But and you know what? I didn't even realize it was that good. I just knew he's good at getting back up to his feet. And because he's kind of almost like a spaz on the ground, right? There's no like beautiful technique for him to get back up to his feet. He like spazzes out and gets back up to his feet. Or uses the cage well. But yeah, that's why it could go either way. The main event, let's be perfectly honest, but I think Rozenstruik is better. KO punch only 2. He has a better chance of Vitor than Rozenstruik, and the odds are pretty decent for parlays. Gaziev is the play for sure. Plus, if you get that far, you want to hedge the underdog. Novalesco got dropped by a punch and Gaziev followed him down. That's why he got this up. Oh, okay. Agree, Mikey. Who's the Dagestani with no grappling? 0. Because even Zabit had grappling. He just decided not to use it. But even then, no, see, he was a Sambo guy. He was Zabit. How do I say his last name again? His last name had two names in it. Magomed Sharipov. And yeah, so he started out as a wrestler and a Sambo guy, but fell in love with striking and Kung Fu. Abus Magomedov. Yeah, he's also more of a... He's the one Magomedov. He's the one family member who elects to strike. I'm telling you right now that betting the fight goes the distance in the Petrino versus Pedro fight is a guaranteed money shredder of a bet. We want the big boys to stand trade. No horizontal embracing. Well, don't watch the UFC then. Magomedov. The one in Bellator, yeah. Oh, Muslim Salikov? Well, I don't know who he's talking about. I thought he was talking about Zabit. I have 10 parlays set up for this event. Lots of heavy favorites, but ways to get creative with things and prop bets. Not even. He's actually, as I went through, he's more of a striker. Yeah, Gaziev hasn't shown us anything. Tell us he can wrestle the UFC level. Because he's too fat. I agree with that statement. Donation. If over 40-year-old Shogun and OSP can put you away decisively, Petrino will out you or put you to bed. I am doing some more work, prepping tomorrow's stream and sleeping, Andrew, because we got bright and early for me anyway. 6 a.m. One championship 166. Over 1.5 could be juicy still, Mikey. That's fair. I'm talking about a bet on yes or no on fight going the full distance. Jorge, I can't let you get close is Chael's new video title. I love it. I love it.
That shit beautiful than a motherfucker.
Yeah, Petrino's a beast, and we'll probably get the finish. What's up, Carlos? Good to see you. I'm not hockey from home as it's just started. Gaziev is the first real threat we have seen in a long time to take the belt from Aleksei Oleinik and Blagoy Ivanov in the worst smelling UFC fighter division. Oh man, Blago is a legend, man. And if you're into Alpha's comics, he can mail you some copies of it. Just not his newest horror one yet, Ishan. Nice. Is there a website or anything? Does he put them online where we can share them? Let's go, Andrew. Andrew knows, baby. Andrew knows. I love it, guys. Well, the live chat was buzzing here tonight. It seems like you guys have a pulse on this card, even though it's not one of the best cards. And again, even last week, I thought was going to have a lot more finishes. I thought there were going to be a lot more exciting fights. And I know I say this all the time, but in 2024, guys, it just hasn't been the case. It just hasn't been the case that some of these fight night cards that don't have the big names, that don't have even the matchups that make us hardcore fans go, oh, okay, like a lot of people won't know these guys' names, but it should still be a good matchup stylistically. There's not a lot of those on this card. So it's hard for me to say yet again, oh, guys, this might be another fight night that is better than a pay-per-view or better than, a fight night that they take on the road, UFC Mexico. It's just getting harder and harder for me every week when I see these cards do not deliver. And then the ones that are supposed to deliver not even deliver. It's hard for me to get excited for UFC on the weekend anymore. Having said that, you guys make me excited. You guys in the live chat here make me excited for these UFC cards. So honestly, I'm way more excited after doing this predictions video with you guys. Talking with you guys, hearing your guys' bets and parlays, hearing your guys' picks in the live chat here. I'm actually got more excited than I was going into this weekend to watch this card. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for your time, as always, for hanging out with us on a Thursday to go over the picks and predictions. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for all the support you show this channel. Don't forget to smash that like button. There's 17 people of you right now. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We are streaming 166 tomorrow, Octagon and UFC on Saturday, and UFC Fight Pass Invitational on Sunday. We might sneak in another fight companion or two in there, or maybe even a membership stream on the weekend if we have time. It's a little bit of a thinner weekend. But again, thank you all for joining. I appreciate you all. If you're just hopped in right now, rewind the tape, and I'll put in timestamps for you guys either later tonight or sometime tomorrow morning. For those who are just checking, who just joined us right now and who are like, I'll go back and watch. But yeah, guys. And finally, Degenerate Parlay of the Week, AJ Cunningham, Zahabi, and Almakhan. Safe Parlay of the Week, Anders, Duncan, Mokaev. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the last few comments here. I'm not sure, Hockey from Home. I'm not sure. Definitely a poopy card, but I need to watch something. Octagon in the morning, too. At least one of Loic, Ribeiro, Zahabi, and Pickett will throw up an upset. Petrino's a badass. So, yeah, no, for sure, Alex. Like, in the Petrino, he's going to be fun. And by the way, thank you so much for joining, Alex. Appreciate you. And I honestly think the Erceg and Matt Schnell fight will be like a fun fight. Not necessarily like high level, but like a fun, entertaining fight. I think the Oliveira fight will be good too. Like, there's a few fights that are going to be good. Don't get me wrong. It's just one of those where it's like, and there's probably going to be more that deliver. It's just, I used to talk up these fight night cards that didn't have a lot of names because in 2023 they delivered. In 2024 so far they haven't delivered, but small sample size. I like this card. I think it will be good. Let's go, Mikey P. Let's go. Gaziev is not fighting Petrino, Andrew. King James is a little naked. I'm a big Blagoy lobbyist out here. He got blasted with a shotgun to the chest and sat down to finish his soup while the ambulance arrived. Dude, his comeback, not only to mixed martial arts, but to the UFC was nothing short of outstanding. Again, Hockey, I do not know. Metallica fan, thank you so much for joining, buddy. Again, I do not know, Hockey from home. I'm not going to make the decision right now. I'll be here all around. Thank you, Andrew. Again, Hockey, I do not know, but I will let you know. I just wanted to know if there was something that we could plug for him. It's less to do with the physical copies and more to do. Can I share his link to his comics to everybody here in the live chat? According to Kenny versus Spenny, Kenny and Spenny, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, socks count. Yeah, Fight Pass Invitational Sunday night. We usually get a good crowd. Now, a lot of people hate watch it because they think that we are it, but we get like hundreds of people in the live chat, so that'll be a fun one. Awesome. Thank you. Grim Reaper came for Blagoy, and he said, no, I'm hungry. Dude, he's so badass. Dude, of course, Dylan, this is why we're friends. Of course, you have this like weird, not even weird, but weird amongst the MMA community, because I'm in it. Weird like fascination with Blagoy. I'm one and the same. They're not in the same weight division, Andrew. They're not in the same weight division. Yeah, I will for sure. Petrino gonna eat my boy Tyson? I think so, Alex. I think they're like I don't hate Tyson Pedro. It's just I can't trust him. He looks really good in the fights that he wins. He doesn't look good in the fights that he loses. Hey, you're the best, Hockey from home. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining the membership stream last night, Hockey from home. Any members in the live chat who missed it last night? We go over, I think, 7 or 8 finishes. Regional finishes. I do, Hockey from home. I do. I just like I don't need to order any physical copies yet, but I'll read a couple of them. If I like them, I'll order some to support them, but I just wanted to share it with the community. But anyways, damn. Thank you all for joining. You all are amazing. Smash that like button and subscribe. Did you see, did you see the Arkansas's ref video? Both are in the wrong? I haven't, Mikey P. Hit me. Send it to me in the Discord. We ain't voting for Pedro this time, y'all. Napoleon Dynamite won't be dancing after this smashing. All right, guys. Smash that like button and subscribe. And I will see you folks tomorrow bright and early out west here. One championship, 166. And I'll post the full schedule here in a bit so you guys can see what we have coming tomorrow night. But one championship, 166. We'll squeeze in another fight card tomorrow night, and then Octagon in the morning on Saturday, followed by UFC, and then UFC Fight Pass Invitational on Sunday. Thank you guys as always. For those who join us just for our prediction videos, we'll see you next Thursday. Join us this weekend for our Fight Companions. Check out the content that we drop on this channel every single day, pretty much these days. And can't wait to hang out with you guys this weekend for another full weekend of fights. Like I said, smash that like button and subscribe. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Peace. Yeah.